The human brain wasn't built for trading. Your instincts tell you, what's going up will keep going up, so you chase it and get trapped at the top. Your instincts scream, avoid pain, so every red candle triggers panic, and every green candle makes you feel like a genius. You chase rewards, whether it's a half-baked setup or a dopamine hit. But the market only rewards those who learn to control the human within them. It doesn't take 6 months to become a millionaire. It takes 6 months to become the kind of trader who deserves profits. Stop chasing profits. Chase the process for 6 months. Emotional control, discipline, because those are the habits that print money in the long run. Ever stared at your screen and thought, how did I do this again? Yesterday you ended green, felt unbeatable. Today, in 30 minutes, you blew up 3 days of work. Why 6 months? Because that's enough time to rewire your brain, your habits, and your trader identity. Behavioral science says if you stick to a habit for 180 days, you can overwrite impulsive behavior. The market rewards those who can delay gratification, not those who chase every green candle. If you can't follow one routine for 6 months, how will you follow a system for life? Mark Douglas, author of Trading in the Zone, said, "You don't trade the market, you trade your belief about the market. That's why the real work is inside, not outside." I followed this 6-month system myself, and what changed wasn't just my trading, it was my life. I developed patience. My self-talk improved. I stopped checking P&L every 3 minutes. And here's the truth. Most people won't even last 30 days. Why? Because their identity is still tied to results, not the routine. One red week, and they throw the whole plan away. But pro traders, they don't bend. They become tougher. There's one thing I did in those 6 months that changed everything. I'll share it later. This is the 6-month trader routine, not a strategy, a behavior system. I'm not talking to anyone else. I'm talking to you. Yes, you who just minimized this video to check one red candle. 90% of your trading success is determined before the market opens. Wake up early. Stay off screens the first 30 minutes. 10 minutes of mindfulness. Sit. Breathe. Observe. Journal. Review past mistakes, not to judge, but to remind yourself. Pre-market plan. Write down 1 to 2 setups with entries, exits, and invalidations. Commit to them. This is your mental armor before going into the market war. Once the bell rings, your job is not to predict, it's to execute like a sniper. No overtrading. Max 2 trades. Don't stare at indicators mid-trade. If you break your rules, go for a walk. Reset. There are days I broke every rule by 10:30 a.m., but I didn't punish myself. I locked it down, breathed, came back the next day. That's where growth began. Discipline isn't silence. It's choosing not to act when your brain screams, "Do something." That's your edge. Evaluate every trade based on process, not profits. Lock away your feelings. FOMO, doubt, greed, tilt. Score your execution from 1 to 10. Become a daily edge builder. You want scary accuracy. Pick a random candle. Was there a setup? Was the execution clean? Ask, what would a 7-figure trader do here? Use concrete visualization. Circle the candle where you panicked. Write down, what was I feeling at that moment? Tom Hougaard, a pro trader, says, "I don't learn from my wins. I learn from my losses." He writes a loss journal after every trade. Because if we only celebrate wins, our losses will drag us back to where we started. Money comes from consistency, and consistency comes from accepting small losses. Do a monthly reset. Every 30 days, take a full Sunday off. No charts, no P&L. Just you and your journal. What's working? Where did emotions override the plan? Which identity did you trade from? Backtest your mind, not just your charts. This routine will break you, then remake you. You'll feel FOMO watching rallies. You'll feel guilt when a stop-loss hits. You'll ask, is all this even worth it? One day I wrote in my journal, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Felt like a fraud. But the next morning I got back up, faced the screen. That's when the shift began. After every session, I wrote one line. What emotion was I trying to escape today? Not the strategy. I opened up my psychology. Maybe you're tired, staring into nothing, don't even feel like journaling. But maybe this is your turning point. If you can't control yourself, you will never control the market. After 90 days, something clicks. You stop reacting to noise. You start thinking in probabilities. You stop expecting wins. You start respecting losses. And by day 120, you realize trading was never about the setup. It was always about you. Remember that one thing I said changed everything? It was tracking my emotions, just like I track price action. That's when the curve flipped. Want to get serious? Find an accountability partner, not a sympathizer, someone who asks, did you follow your routine today? Did you revenge trade? Did you lock your emotions? Steel sharpens steel. Most traders lose not because of bad setups, but because of their untrained mind. Some lose simply because they can't sit alone with their guilt quietly. Train like a monk for 6 months. Execute like a machine. Live like a calm human. If you take trading seriously, save this video. Share it with your past self and begin your 6-month mindset challenge. Let me ask you one question. If you worked your job the same way you trade, would you still be employed? In the Gita, Krishna said, controlling the mind is harder than controlling the wind. That is the real battle of trading. Paul Tudor Jones once said, without emotional control, money control is impossible. And that's the core of this system. Drop a comment if you're starting your 6-month mindset challenge. More importantly, drop your ego. You don't need motivation. You need momentum. And that starts right here. One day you won't need motivation anymore. You'll have conviction. If this message touched you, like this video, but only if something triggered you inside. And if you want to become the kind of trader who transforms themselves through a system, subscribe to this channel. This isn't your dopamine fix. This is your discipline builder.